What up, y'all? Just Prince TV, so let's get into it. The Rabbit, none other than himself, Freddie Gibbs, drops a new album, sold separately, okay? This guy's been consistent with dropping album of the year material. And what I like about Freddie Gibbs is he's found a lane that he could drop albums and know what to give to the listener, the consumer, right? He has dope ass beats. His beat selection is pretty hot. I mean, I first caught on to Freddie Gibbs from chilling in my cataracts. He was just straight up spitting. Now, my biggest flaw with Freddie Gibbs is the fact that sometimes he raps too fast, okay? And that is like, slow it down a little bit so I can hear what you're saying, But once he slows it down a little bit and he raps at a medium pace, you be like, oh shit, he got some bars. But sometimes he raps too fast, and when guys rap too fast, they lose a rhythm in terms of rapping because they're rapping so fast. A lot of the stuff they say goes over your head, and it be like, not that hot, right? But nevertheless, this Freddie Gibbs album, man, the beats is fire, and his lyrics, when he actually slows it down, is actually hot. This album that he has, I won't be surprised if it's an album of the year contender because he's very consistent, like I said, at dropping album of the year contenders. But my biggest problem is, I guess when I listen to this, you know what I think of? Man, him and Benny the Butcher could have squashed their beef and they could have got together and did a good album. I still don't to this day don't even know why they really beefing. It's just a bunch of nonsense. But I would love to see those two come together for an album, because once they rapping together, album sounds good. Their songs sound good. Excuse me. I mean, they never came out with an album. So that's what I would like to see. But the reality of the situation is we may be in years from now before they settle their beef or even get together to collab for an album or even a song. But this album by Freddie Gibbs, man, it's solid. It's definitely worth a listen. He got a track with Pusha T, and they spitting that coke rap. Pusha T is pretty good at spitting that coke rap. So once you get him together on the track, you know what it's going to be about anyway, because Pusha T is a very, he's a one-way artist, but he perfects his lane, which is giving you that coke rap. So this album for me is like, out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give it like, I'm gonna give it 3.5, just because there's like no true song that really staying stuck with me. I would probably have to listen to it more to get a song that, could really stick to the ribs, or a couple songs that could stick to the ribs. For me, a good album gotta have songs that stick to the ribs. It gotta have something that has a lot of replay value that I'm going to listen to countless times. And he does have some songs that will have heavy replay value. So I will understand why some people want to give this album a 4 out of 5 in the album of the year contender. It's just that even though I listen to it, I have probably listened to it to about 2 times, and it's nothing that really stuck out for me. It's just a lot of good tracks on here, but they're average tracks, if that makes any sense. There's nothing that, boom, that's a hit, that's a banger. And all albums need that, especially hit albums, classic albums. They need something that you could say stands out, that be like, oh, that's my jam right there. That's the song right there. Regardless of what the content of the song is or what he's talking about, you need that element, that little dose of classic material. That's what makes an album a classic, that it has bangers that you could go back to and it could stand the test of time. So I won't say this album is a classic, but album of the year contender, definitely. Album of the year means it's good for just this year. I don't know if you're going to continue to listen to it, but some of you may look at this album and say, hey, this is a classic for me. If that's the case, then that means you have songs that stick to the ribs, rememberable songs. That's what a classic does. So the definition of, an album that's great It's an album that you could listen to for years, you know. You could always go back to and have nostalgia, classic songs, you know, etc. This album doesn't have that, but it's a good listen for this year of 2022. Definitely an album of the year contender. I'm out. Peace.